What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're taking a spicy look at an XL Seaking in this Ultra League meta, dude. I don't know how... No, he's crazy, but he brought it. And he paired it up with a Registeel and a Shadow Gliscor, pretty standard core there, one that I used to run myself. Team looks interesting. It looks a lot like the Tapu Fini Registeel Gliscor line that I ran a few seasons ago to Legend. But let's check out the battles with Seaking. And once again, thank you to my buddy Big C Dizzle for submitting these battles. Trainers, if you would like to submit some battles to the channel for Shoutcasting, there is a link in the description that you can check out for the Google form as well as the pinned comments. Please check that out if you're interested. And anyway, let's get to the battles here. Starting off with this first game with Gliscor and Golisopod. This is a pretty good lead, I would have to say here, because you're dealing super effective damage, and the opponent usually won't expect the Aerial Ace. But maybe they're going to shield anyway. Let's see if they suspect it. Opponent does shield up, fearing the Aerial Ace. Gliscor going for more damage here. Wing attacks adding up very quickly. The Golisopod itself. Would you bait it? Aren't they the same energy or so? Oh, okay. I would expect the opponent to have gone for the liquidation there. Just because Xzr is very close, you may as well go for the super effective damage. But now, getting both shields, no shielding, liquidation takes out the Gliscor. Here comes the Seaking. Oh, dude. Here he goes. He's going to work. All of the damage on this thing is resisted. But let's see how thick the Seaking is. I have one that I could build, but I've never actually gone ahead and done it. So the opponent goes for an Xzr. Seaking's already down to like 40% of its HP. Has to put up the final shield to get this farm down. But is this farm down going to be worth it? That's the question. Opponent, thinking about it, comes in with a Tentacruel and is going to have to take a couple of drill runs. Registeel is looking pretty hot right now as it does wall the poison damage. Seaking can go for some more farm here before the opponent's Tentacruel gets to a move, as it's 7 to the Acid Spray, 8 to the Scald, nearly taking it out. Opponent has a Steelix in the back, and Registeel is looking to slap this Steelix into the ground with a Focus Blast. First one's going to go off, Focus Blast. Does not get shielded because the opponent used up their shields on Golisopod, and now the opponent's Steelix is just, it doesn't matter how many breaking swipes they throw at this point. They're going to go down. Earthquake! Alright, I gotta be honest. I almost never see Steelix throwing Earthquake, so good kudos to this trainer for going to Earthquake. It feels like Nidoqueen all over again, where they would just go to Poison Fang and just consistently throw like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Poison Fang. Now it's 1, 2, 3, 4 breaking swipe. Good game, though. Registeel coming in clutch. Registeel kind of slaps that whole team, not gonna lie. That was okay. I mean, if it works for the trainer, it works for the trainer. But I don't know. The Registeel just kind of seems like it slaps that whole team around. Anyway, going for the Aerial Ace bait here, not getting the move off as the opponent decides to shield here. Going up for another Earthquake. Opponent going for the charge move. They decide to go for the Scald, and then we full send the Earthquake. Does this land, or does the Tentacruel shield twice?
Boom!
It doesn't, dude. A Shadow Gliscor doesn't KO a Tentacruel. Dude, Tentacruel is too damn thick. The Scald goes through. Well, you know what time it is? It's farm down time. Who's coming in to get this energy? Seaking's coming in to get a resisted farm down. Not a bad choice here. Let's see what the opponent's got in the back. They got a Heliolisk. Heliolisk. Gonna have to fear this drill run. Triple Legacy Seaking is in the Ultra League. Looking for you, buddy. Ooh, gets the shield. Okay. Registeel up his shield. I'm sorry, what? What? Huh? Bro. Respect. They're running Delphox? Absolute respect. What is this? I love it. It's not going to stop the Seaking from coming in, though, and having its way with this Delphox, though. No, it's not. The Seaking is just sitting in the back saying, let me in, Dizzle. Let me in, buddy. All right, here comes the Heliolisk. The opponent essentially is going to have to throw their energy here, and you could easily save a shield, I think, for the Seaking. It does get to the drill run pretty quickly. Opponent goes for the Grass Knot, because the breaking swipe wasn't going to be enough, but now he has to get to... I mean, they do enough damage, right? They got to go for the breaking swipe here. They just go for the Grass Knot? I would imagine the trainer should have gone for the breaking swipe, although I don't think that it mattered. I imagine that the opponent was probably trying to call a bait, or trying to call that they wouldn't shield. But very good game. All right, so we swap to a Dragonite lead now. The trainer looks to go between Gliscor and Dragonite, so they both serve the same purpose, right? Be the anti-Swampert of the group, so to speak. But yeah, no, these battles are played like in the upper 20 or 2,000 range. I didn't see the elo before we started, but I know that he climbed up to nearly legend elo with his team. So, I mean, the person's running Spice, but I imagine what they were probably doing was they realized the only way that they win the game in the prior game was by Big C Dizzle calling a bait, and the shield was pretty much it. So, got a Talonflame in here on the Registeel, going for this Zap Cannon. Does it land? Probably not. Talonflame would get one shot. They lose the attack. Now we're going for the farm down as a Talonflame. No, they get scared and they throw the energy. I think they could have farmed all the way down. Flame Charge takes out Registeel with 1 HP, and the Dragonite comes back in. And this is one of those situations where obviously you're glad to have the Dragonite, but you certainly wouldn't hate having your Seaking come into this either, because if you just shield this, which, okay, all right, putting all of our faith into the Seek. Wow. Okay, he must have known that wasn't going to be a Brave Bird. The opponent must have thrown when they wouldn't have normally had a Brave Bird. That's the only thing I got. Comes in for the Seeking Snipe and gets it. And the opponent's going to have the Jellicent in the back. Now, I think you have to shield. You got to shield at the Shadow Ball here, or what could be a Shadow Ball, and then you just go for whatever move you want. With good timing, too. A Drill Run's coming off. And this will definitely take out the Jellicent from this range. See if the opponent shields it. They do not. The opponent has a Aromatisse in the back. They've got a Charmer. And Big C Dizzle goes for the Icy Wind. He says, nah, nah, no, 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 no charm in my house. No, no, no. You get out of here, you stinky charm user. That's okay. Tactical charm use is permitted, but we just like, I don't know. Charmers are... They're a special breed of slightly annoying things you see in Go Battle League, because it's like, they do so much damage, and it's literally, it's the reason, if anybody's not familiar why trainers typically dunk on Razor Leaf and Charm. It's typically because they're viewed as tap, no skill moves. So we see a really bad lead. We see a Virizion come into this. This would be a good way to win Switch. But like Charm and Razor Leaf and those heavy fast move damage moves are typically viewed as low skill, and they frustrate a lot of players who like to play teams that are like, you know, energy management, and you know, they're basically trying to use their skills that they've gathered, and then they find an opponent who's like, I'm just going to go with double Razor Leaf and maybe a Bastiodon on the front or something. It'll frustrate people because they view that as a low skill sort of thing. So for anybody who doesn't know, anyway, the Virizion here isn't able to take out with a Leaf Blade. Is Big C Dizzle going to flip switch on a Virizion? Dude, this is going to be wild. Hold up. He goes for it on the CMP, and Seaking wins CMP over Virizion. That is wild, dude. Getting the Icy Wind off, taking out Virizion, and flipping switch. But now you've got... Oh, does he get to the drone? Oh, so close. But you've got Registeel on the Steelix. And you're pretty much chilling at this point. The only thing that could possibly flip this all the way around is if the opponent maybe catches the Focus Blast somewhere, or maybe he has to get a very nice timing there, making sure the opponent isn't in the middle of trying to swap, and instead they're in the middle of a fast move. Focus Blast connects, and they're well within range for the Dragonite now. Do we see a catch? No, I was going to hope he was going to try and catch that Earthquake on the Dragonite, dude. That would have been wild. Earthquake does take out the Registeel, and we've got Dragonite. It's going for a farm down on the CMP. The Dragonite gets to the Claw. What's in the back? What's in the back? It's a Toxicroak. Okay. As long as they don't get to the Sludge Bomb, this is a win. Is this Dragon Claw enough? Fires it on the CMP. Very nice. Counting and energy management, Big C Dizzle. But it's not enough. The shiny Croak, Swag Croak, hangs on for just long enough to throw the Sludge Bomb. And you know what? Gotta give it to him.
Boom!
That was very well played by the opponent, just having that. I mean, they just happen to have the Toxicroak, sure, but... Alright, now we've got Dragonite versus our Walrein. I think we just maybe completely pivoted away from the Gliscor at this point. Well, that's gonna be... That sucks for the graphic, I suppose, but... I mean, Dragonite and Gliscor essentially follow the same purpose here. They're both flyers that beat most of the things that Registeel and Seaking would really have a problem with, mostly like Virizion specifically. Earthquake fires off, but it's not quite enough, and the opponent is forced to throw their energy immediately in order to get this Hydro Cannon off to KO the Registeel, which now will open up a farm down for this Dragonite. The opponent might get to a Hydro Cannon before they go down, though. They probably, yeah, they will. But that doesn't matter because it just resisted damage. And the farm down from this Dragonite is going to be helpful. So we're going to see, well, I imagine he's probably going to throw the superpower. Oh, he goes for the Dragon Claw bait, saving a little bit of energy for later. Then we're going to see the Seaking pop in and do its thing. Opponent staying in, taking damage from those poison jabs. Did they go for... It's an Earthquake. There had to be an Earthquake, right? Yeah, they farmed up enough energy. They farm up, go for the Icicle Spear. Bait feels bad to shield that Icicle Spear, knowing it would have been resisted. But honestly, with 2 shields, that's a very sensible play for the opponent to make. And they're still farming up, going to shield once again. Does the opponent full send it? They full send the Earthquake, and that's going to get the shield. Now there's a Charizard. Oh, man. Oh, man. They were not ready for XL Seaking. Icy Wind. Dude, Icy Wind! Are you about to tell me that this Icy Wind is going to allow that Dragonite to get the farm down it needs to hit that Walrein with a superpower? I think that's exactly what I'm being told here, but after 2 Icy Winds, I don't even know if this KOs. Dragon Claw's not nearly enough immediate pivot into the Dragonite to get the opponent to throw the energy here, which is a really smart play. Allows the Seaking now to farm down without getting KO'd, has the move ready, goes for the drill run right as soon as the Walrein comes in. Excellent, excellent foresight there by Big C Dizzle. Taking out that Walrein, that's a good game, well played. All right, we're getting into the next battle. We've got a Dragonite. The Gliscor's back. Welcome back, buddy. Good old Batman's back here in the gang. Let's see. So going for the Aerial Ace right away. This is some stab. Not so much, damage, but I mean, to a Shadow Dragonite, it sure does enough. The opponent brings in Golisopod. Now, the problem with this Golisopod swap, Golisopod loses CMP, or was that off a turn? I don't know, we'll have to see. I couldn't tell. No, they CMP'd. That's wild. That's Seaking wins CMP over freaking Golisopod, dude. That's crazy. Opponent going for Aerial Ace here as they think that the Liquidation is not worth it as it is resisted, which makes sense. I'm the kind of person who's like, I'll go for 1 Liquidation to see if I get that debuff, and then start going for Aerial Aces. So, going for the Icy Wind here to lower the attack of the opponent. Now even a Liquidation with 2 stages debuffed if... Wait a minute. Does Golisopod lose Switch? Bro, he's going for Switch. Alright, hold up. This is insane, dude. Seaking is about to flip a freaking Golisopod. Let's go! That's massive, dude. Okay, now you got Icy Winds for the Dragonite. Oh, this feels so bad to be the Dragonite right now, dude. Yeah, taking 2 poison jabs as well, I believe. Registeel could potentially farm down if it wanted to, although it would be very risky, so the Gliscor comes in to absorb the energy, which makes sense. It's debuffed, it's only a Dragon Claw, you can tank it. And then the opponent gets farmed down. No, they get to the Dragon Claw in time, dude. Registeel's gonna have to win down a shield, and it's a Cobalion. You could not ask for a worse situation. Oh my goodness. This Cobalion's got a Sacred Sword already, but they shield. That means that this Focus Blast is gonna be enough. The opponent is gonna have to throw their Sacred Swords into the Registeel, but is this Registeel gonna be able to get to the Focus Blast before the opponent can get to 3 Sacred Swords? I think it might even be... No, it'll definitely be 3. I think they're at the back-to-back right now, but I don't think 2 is gonna be enough. They're gonna need another one. No, it's enough! But they weren't at the move! Sacred Sword wasn't ready! The opponent won off, and they go for the Focus Blast!
Boom!
Oh, that was beautiful! Oh, that was beautiful. Oh, this is where we wish the Gliscor was back. Alright, so we got a Dragonite back on the lead again. Gonna be able to CMP if we want to, but instead lets it go and saves the energy. He calling a lunge bait. He calls the lunge successfully. It makes sense because most Galvantulas do that. Most of them do go for a lunge, even though they're going to shield us because it could be a discharge. It's definitely a lunge. The opponent has an Alolan Sandslash immediately reaching for the superpower here. And then expecting to probably... Yep, there's the pivot. Now we're a shield up. The opponent has a Shadow Alolan Sandslash. The drill runs are a problem here for this Registeel, as it's got that steel typing. Drill Run would do super effective damage, but we're going to be able to get to a move before the opponent gets to the next one, and Big C Dizzle reaches for the Zap Cannon. Do they shield? Bro, the opponent even would have got one shot by a Focus Blast. I believe that I had an opportunity to hit the button robbed from me, and now I'm upset. Okay. So the opponent going up to 4-volt switches, meaning they've probably got the Thunderbolt in their move pool here. So we'll see the opponent go for a move. See what they do here. This is very dangerous. Now the opponent goes for the Breaking Swipe. Not exactly an ideal situation, but now we get a catch on the Dragonite. That's huge. Getting the catch on this Dragonite, get that Breaking Swipe, cleared the debuff off of Registeel. The opponent has a Alolan Sandslash with very little HP left in the back. Seaking now comes in to absorb some energy, and Registeel is sitting in the back nearly with a move loaded. Could come in at any time here after the switch clock comes back up. I think the Seaking at this point is just looking to go for the CMP, but loses it and has to shield up in case it's a Grass Knot, which it is the Grass Knot. But what is that, 1 or 2 breaking, as for Breaking Swipe, this is going to be enough. Doesn't matter, goes for the Undercharge. Getting that Undercharge, opponent comes in with the Alolan Sandslash. They're going to have to throw before Seaking, and they lose CMP to the Seaking. How dare you underestimate the King of the Seas? He has a bigger attack stat than you. And then he comes in and gets the snipe, knowing the opponent has to throw a fast move, able to get the Focus Blast in, and here we go.
Boom!
We take those. Good game. All right, getting into the next game, we've got the Dragonite on the lead once again into a Greninja. Very nice lead here for the Dragonite. As you can see, the Dragon Breaths are just ripping through the shiny Greninja. Shiny boost or not, doesn't matter. That Dragon Breath hurts, and the opponent then swaps into Golisopod. They are running an ABA or AAA water, I don't know, but they're incredibly weak to Electric at this point, and Seaking now gets to come in and make a fool out of this Golisopod yet again. Assuming we're saving the Dragonite for later use against the Greninja, as while Registeel is fine, things with fast move pressure really do well against Greninja because of how just very, my goodness, I was going to say thin, but that doesn't work. Thin is not the word. Frail is the word I'm looking for here. As the Icy Wind takes out the Golisopod, both players have 2 shields left on the table here, and going for this drill run to do some, I mean, that might even potentially KO, to be completely honest, with how much damage that does. Opponent farming up a bunch of energy, but they are forced to throw some of it as the Seaking was about to get to a move here. So Night Slash takes out the Seaking, and that's fine, but we're going to see the Dragonite come in and continue to just rip this Dragonite apart like a piece of paper, just... And the Night Slash gets the shield, and the opponent's got Cresselia, and they are about to be in a very bad mood as this Registeel is sitting in the back saying, "Trainer, let me in." There he goes. Registeel comes in, and the opponent's Cresselia. It may have Moonblast, but it doesn't matter. Future Sight doesn't matter. You didn't see into the future, did you? If you did, you wouldn't have brought the Crest. Oh, I feel so bad for this opponent because they had so much opportunity, but once again, another trainer that seems to very much so disregard Registeel as a threat, as Golisopod could just about get one shot by the Zap Cannon from a Registeel, and I mean every move that Registeel has except for Flash Cannon could one-shot a Greninja. Looking to get into the Dragonite here, shield up once, as that's the only thing on this team left that needs a shield. Registeel's still perfectly healthy. And this is basically a good game here. Well played. I say well played, but essentially they got completely team comped by the Registeel by itself. Okay. Gliscor into Nidoqueen. Dominant, very, very good matchup for Gliscor as it completely walls the moveset of the Nidoqueen. And the opponent goes into an Umbreon after throwing the Poison Fang to chip. Now, here's the thing, everybody. Now, the issue that I have with that move there from the Nidoqueen player is that if the opponent can freely swap out, all you've essentially done is do resisted damage and then give the opponent an energy lead. Now, in this situation, I recognize immediately there's probably a Scrafty in the back. Usually Gliscor, you know, makes a Nidoqueen get the heck out of there right away because it's only doing resisted damage. So that would be my guess at this point, seeing how this game is progressing so far. And so to that effect, saving Gliscor makes a lot of sense. But just on the fact of, you know, when you're using Nidoqueen, it's typically not beneficial to throw the Poison Fang when the opponent has the ability to freely swap out, especially if you're about to swap out, because that just clears the debuff and then they have an energy lead. So the opponent's Umbreon is still on the field. Thickosaurus Rex is just chilling over there on his 4 legs and his cute little moon fur, or whatever you want to call it there, but with some Pretty decent timing, going right on the CMP, making the opponent really think about if they want to shield this or not. Going for that drill run to KO. The opponent lets it go, and they've got an Icy Wind ready for the Nidoqueen as it comes back in. Talk about adding insult to injury. Now who's debuffing who? Except that was a super effective debuff. Now the Gliscor just comes back in, I imagine, and goes for an Aerial Ace here, threatening to almost KO with this Aerial Ace. It doesn't do enough, I don't think, but it's pretty close. And now the opponent throwing another Poison Fang with just a little bit left in the tank, just enough to get there. Poison Fang doing resisted damage yet again, and there's the Scrafty, just as I kind of expected. Nidoqueen Scrafty is a very, very common core, and the opponent goes for a move right away. It's just a power-up punch. Not going to do enough damage to this Gliscor, unfortunately for the opponent. This is one of the main core breakers of the Nidoqueen Scrafty core, and I mean, there's not a whole lot that they're really going to be able to do about this here. Now, I think I would have saved the, that Aerial Ace coming with the Registeel here, just to guarantee that the opponent doesn't ramp up and go nuts. You got a shield, your Registeel's on full HP. I don't think there's any chance the opponent could have won this game anyway, just because of the Gliscor, but just saying. Good game. There's a lot of different ways that could have gone. So we got the Dragonite back out on the field once again, and the Registeel's in the back, sitting here, waiting to see this crest, but it may not get the chance because it doesn't get the alignment. So we're going to see the crest, and then we see the catch on Registeel. Oh, that's crazy, dude. Okay. Okay. Very nice. The opponent throws a Grass Knot bait and then comes in with their own Registeel. All right. So now this opponent, as you all know, I am a Skeledirge enthusiast, and this person's team makes my my mouth water at the thought of using Skeledirge against them. Because this is exactly the reason why I love using it so much, is because it just core breaks so many very meta cores here. So we're going to see the Registeel come in and get this Focus Blast off because it was one move ahead from that switch prior. Opponent has to shield first here. And at this point, I honestly wonder, yeah, you just let it go. And then the Dragonite could very, very much so just farm this down. Has energy from the previous matchup with the Cresselia. Could just throw a Dragon Claw when it gets low enough. I think this is a very doable play. Going straight for superpower, not messing around. Keeping the fact that we've got two shields here. Seaking is probably going to come in here at this point. And they've got Tapu Fini. Okay, the Seaking is cooking now. And Dragonite is pretty much all but useless. So the real question is, can the Seaking outbulk the Cresselia? That's going to be the real question here, folks. Because those poison jabs are going to add up very quickly against the Tapu Fini. The opponent shields the Icy Wind. And Big C Dizzle shields in kind, looking to not take very much damage from these Grass Knots. Seeing this damage go down, this is like adding the bulk to the Seaking without adding any bulk to Seaking. It's level 50 XL, but that doesn't mean that it's able to take too many hits. Let's see how much a double debuff Grass Knot does to the Seaking. It's gonna do like 30%. That is not very much. Opponent looks to swap, and now the Icy, I mean, they could have thrown Icy Wind right away anyway, but now we're gonna see the opponent bring in the Tapu Fini, and this thing is gonna get basically murdered by these poison jabs. And then we catch the Surf! Was that a Surf or a Moonblast? Please tell me it was a Surf. Bro, it was a Surf! It caught the Surf, dude! Oh my goodness, alright, it's crazy. Okay, so the superpower is going to do plenty of damage to Tapu Fini, and even though we're debuffed and the Dragon Breaths are double resisted, those still hurt. I do believe that might have even been a CMP tie to get to this superpower, and the opponent is not going to be able to just farm down, and this Cresselia is going to get taken out by the Dragonite or the Seaking that comes in after it. This is extremely... They go for the Grass Knot, and even with double debuff, it's not enough. Oh my god, good game, dude. Wow. Okay, getting into what looks to be the final game here. I think we might have one or two more. Stay tuned. This is actually kind of fun. All right, we're going to have the big fat squirrel Greedent on the lead here. Big C Dizzle going immediately for that Dragon Claw after going for a few more moves. Opponent is not throwing yet, which is interesting to me, but they go ahead and shield it up, thinking it could be a superpower, and they no-shield the Body Slam here. Body Slam does a lot of damage to a Shadow Dragonite. Looking to catch it, they don't get the catch on the Registeel here, unfortunately. Registeel is going to eat a crunch, but it's not going to do much. No defense drop. Here comes a fat six-legged Tina, and this is a miserable matchup for Registeel, to be honest. You do not win CMP, or no, not CMP. You don't win Switch here because Tina does resist everything, and they did get a bit of a they got a bit of a health boost, or not boost, advantage from that crunch that landed. So this is a good matchup for Tina here, resisting everything. The only way that this Registeel would have out of this if they were running Flash Cannon, even Shadow Sneak doing as little damage as it does, though, is still just not enough. The matchup here could flip very quickly as the opponent keeps getting hit with attack debuffs. One of the things that Registeel is very good at is playing slot machine, as it gets the jackpot every time on the damn the damn debuffs. But Dragonite's going to come back in here now and threaten this Tina, making him lose the Tina, and now the Greeton gets to come back in and is going to threaten now the Dragonite with the Body Slam, but I think we're just going to just let it go. I don't know what we're going to expect to see in the back. Now the opponent sends in a Tentacruel. This is looking good for both Seaking and Registeel, as we have shield advantage here, as well as having the super effective damage on both sides. Registeel comes in immediately, forcing the opponent to throw right away, but they don't get to a move yet. Zap Cannon might very well get the final shield of this game, and it does. And it gets another attack drop. Jackpot, baby. The opponent's not going to be able to farm down. They're going to have to throw. And I think, yeah, you shield and you get rid of this Tentacruel. Yes, I think so, because it's just annoying to have to deal with the debuffs and stuff. Oh, they get the attack drop, and they get to another move. This is an Acid Spray, though, isn't it? This is an Acid Spray. No, it's a Scald! That's a perfect call from the Registeel to shield that up, and the opponent now is sitting pretty with no shields on either side. But Zap Cannon, dude, Zap Cannon doesn't do it. It does, like, nothing! One attack drop and a Zap Cannon doesn't do. Tentacruel is so insanely bulky. That was a Blizzard Tentacruel, if anybody's wondering why they didn't throw Acid Spray. They were either throwing a Scald hoping for a debuff, or they're running Blizzard, as that would be usually a safe swap for the opponent to lure out, you know, a Tina or a Flyer or something, right? So we're going to see this Seaking get to a move here, not winning CMP because there wasn't a CMP, but they're going to get to the drill run off before the opponent gets to another Body Slam, and the timer's counting down, and they just say, I'm done, dude. I can see. That was a good game. Well played. That was a lot of fun. I have a triple Legacy Seaking that I could build, and I think I might do it now after seeing this. This was a lot of fun to watch. But again, thank you very much, Big C Dizzle, for submitting these battles. It's a lot of fun to watch the Seaking go on an absolute rampage. And everybody, thank you so much for watching. We're going to catch you in the next one here. Bye-bye.